Alright, welcome Eric Flight viewers to another Eric Flight broadcast. This one just kind of popped out. I'd like to do some Saturday morning ones whenever possible, whenever I'm not flying for real, and I just got vaccinated for the second time right here on the right arm because I'm like, smart like that. Probably the left arm would have been better. But yeah, I just got vaccinated, so I can't fly this weekend. I haven't been able to fly for a little over a month now, and that means real life. So I guess we'll just have to relive it through the simulator. And then if you were here for the last broadcast, the simulator kind of crapped the bed on frames when I did that Virtual USA fly-in. But Microsoft has fixed nothing. Actually, I should say Asobo has fixed nothing. And I tried this one little setting. So we're going to test it out while we do what would be a future real-world flight. I don't know why that's saying Atlantic City because I thought I changed it, but obviously I didn't. So let me do that first. I don't have to edit it. I did have it edited. I just forgot to put it up there, so give me a second. But today, we are going to Limington Harmon Airport up in Limington, Maine. And the reason why this would be a real-world flight is, and I was reminded of this recently, is I have a ex-coworker who actually moved back to her house in Maine, and she actually retired just about, I'd say about a month ago. Maybe less than that. But, we've always talked about me flying up there after I got my pilot's license. So hopefully this summer, now that I'm vaccinated, I'll still be wearing masks, by the way, when I fly. You can make fun of me as much as you want to, but I like to err on the side of caution. For other people as well. Anyways, we're going to fly up there in the simulator right now. And we're going to take this 152, which is probably what I would fly, seeing that it'd probably just be me flying up there. The 172 I might do also, though, because it's a little faster. It's like 10% faster typically. But today we're doing the 152, and we're going to be going above Class Bravo and everything. VATSIM has Boston Center on there. I think I am going to request flight following like I would in the real world, and we'll go from there. I guess that's what we're going to do. So without further ado, let's get this checklist going on here. And we're just going to do a one-way flight here. After that, I have to get things going. Hey, Titanium Druid, how's it going? It's going pretty well. Going to be heading back to teaching in a real classroom in about 2 weeks, which is great too. But real world flying, really miss it. Really missed it. Thanks to winds, weather, maintenance on the plane, which was on Thursday. I wanted to try to take a flight Thursday before I got vaccinated yesterday, because then the FAA says that you can't fly for 2 days. So the next scheduled flight, oh, you know it. Nick, how's it going? Nick Greslow, everybody, who is basically getting there. You're getting there in that IFR training there, bud. The instrument training. So, sounds good. Looks good. All right, let me just make sure I fueled this up here. Doing very well. And we are at Plymouth, which is my real-life home base. But we're just taking it up to Limington, Maine. Hopefully a flight I will do this summer to visit an ex-coworker. I also heard there's good breakfast at this airport. I have an ex-girlfriend that lives up there now, and she's on Facebook. She's like, oh, I just went to the airport and got some breakfast, and it looks amazing. However, I've been trying to slim down lately, so I don't know. I don't know. Plus, I've been doing intermittent fasting for about, 16, 17 days. It sounds brutal, but it really isn't. Basically, there's a window of eating between like 12 noon and 8 p.m., and then after that, I don't eat, but I'm in bed for half of that, so it's really not that bad. Get a little hungry at the end, but the numbers aren't going down a lot, but I can feel that I'm getting slimmer here, so this is good. Anything that would help me out there. All right, anyways, enough about me. Let's go to the flight here. Seat track, back lock, avionics are off. They will be once I got SPAD working here. Okay, test this out. Make sure my throttles are working here. Because I have two different ones, so it makes it a little difficult because then it reads one but not the other. But now it should read it. All right, carb heat is off. Beacons going on. Mixture full rich. Throttle slight. Priming. Let's do what we would do in the real world, and we wouldn't have a parking brake on. 1, 2, 3. 3 pumps is fine. It wouldn't go that fast. Brakes are set. Master on. Clear prop. Mags to start. Here we go. Let's hope it works. No, it doesn't. Why? Because I don't have SPAD working probably. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's it. So I ponied up for X-Pilot too. So now I have the trifecta. We have Microsoft Flight Simulator. Out of frustration, I reinstalled X-Pilot, and I bought Active Sky for that, and also SPAD, so I could use my panels, the SciTech panels, with it. And yeah, it's probably the most realistic dynamic flying we've done. So, well, congratulations, Nick Resl, on the cross countries, and let us know how that goes. I have an idea of what airports are around. Like for now, if I were doing this in real life, like right now, I know I'm going to Sanford, Maine. If I can't get into Limington, Harmon, if I, for example, when I went out to Chester that time, I knew it was going to be a hard airport to land at, especially with the winds gusting to about 20, 21 knots. So I said to myself, I'll have Groton, New London. So yeah, I kind of get an idea of where the airports are, because I haven't really flown to non-familiar places. If I was going to a non-familiar place, like long distance, then I'm definitely going to plan out an alternate airport. So yeah. Obviously, if you're just flying around, then no, that's like the only time. But I'm usually in an area where I know where I'm at and where the airports are. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So I'd say, yes, I try to plan one every flight, but typically it's not written down unless it's like really like I'm going to Chester for the first time and it's out in like Western Connecticut, and in case this doesn't happen, where am I going? You know? I guess that's how I'm answering that. All right, let's see if SPAD's working now. Looks like it. All right, SPAD. If you're wondering what SPAD is, by the way, because I say that a lot, it's this software, and it controls my SciTech panels. So that's what I'm talking about. See, this thing was off, and now when I turn it on, beacon, now I got power on, and it controls from my multi-panel into Microsoft Flight Simulator. So now you can see everything's on. All right, mixture's in. We're in there. No carb heat, which it turns on when I do SPAD sometimes. I don't know why. Clear prop. Here we go. And there we go. All right, not bad. But that's what SPAD is. Logitech makes their own drivers, and SciTech used to have the drivers, but they suck. They were messing up for me, so now I just buy SPAD once, and that's it. I guess, yeah. I mean, I kind of already studied where I'm going and the airports around it, you know. Like Keene, I know there was an airport right before. I can't remember the name of it, but back then I wrote it down as an alternate. So I think it's more about being aware of what's around you on your route, and then really planning one if you're going longer distances in a place where you're not familiar. I take it as it is. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Masters on, max to start. Oil pressure should be in the green. It is. Lights as required. We'll turn on the landing, taxi, and nav. Only thing I have in my 152, honestly, that I fly, either one of them, are nav lights and landing lights. So this taxi light is special to this model, as well as strobes, because we don't have strobes in the 152s I fly. So, that's it. One of them doesn't even have a pitot heat. So, yeah, I always thought about what would happen. I've never had a problem with my pitot tube freezing, but it always made me wonder on that 152. Obviously, you would have no airspeed at that point, and you'd be okay to get it in there, but never really had to worry about it, but always thought about it. All right, seatbelts, harnesses, flaps would be going up right now. Let's just test that switch. Oh, see, that's what it does with the throttle quadrant. That's bad for you. But now it will work. You see what I'm saying? It just had to register that quadrant, and then it's done. Yeah, definitely look at, it's part of planning. Excuse me. Alexa, stop. And now I have to tell my son to get off the video games. Zach! You have 5 minutes. And there you go. That's what it's like living with a 7-year-old who plays video games. The good news, he's not on the Steam games right now, so I can actually play this. Heat, vent, defrost. Yes, please. Let's look at Rex Weather Force, which I did not load the weather with. We're using this again today. It's been hit or miss with this. It depends on, it's getting the right METAR data, but it doesn't seem to change all the time to where you're going. But I like to use it anyways. It's been getting better. They're still navigating to a new server. So, but like right now I'm reading on SkyVector 250 at 7. There you go, 10 square miles clear. So it's getting the real METAR, no problem. So he right now is into SimCity 4 because he wanted City Skylines. And I was like, well, here, try this old version. Why is there snow? Oh, I guess there was snow here a little bit. Not where I'm living, though. Nope, we still have green grass. So I guess in Plymouth it was snowing a little bit. Like I'm talking probably like still grass there today. But we'll just go with it. We'll take it. So SimCity 4 is what I got him on. I know it's old and archaic, but it's simpler for him. And then if he does well with that, we'll think about getting him City Skylines when he's ready. But other than that, Universe Sandbox, Minecraft. He did Roblox on his Chromebook. Let's see what else. Oh, Among Us. So, where I'm at, it is definitely not the warmest. It's getting warmer. Today it's supposed to get up to, I thought, the 60s, but it says 42 on Rex Weather Force. I haven't been outside yet today. So, but it is what it is. So cabin heat, I'm not going to need that much. Of course, it doesn't let you do. All right, so we'll just leave it off. We'll be fine. No cabin air, though. All right, what am I doing? Checklist. Here we go. Avionics are on and set. We have to flip them with switches here because we don't have an avionics master switch. There we go. All right. COM 2, we'll put 121.5. I'm trying to get better at that because honestly, like, you're supposed to monitor this, but even in the real world, I'm not always monitoring it, so we'll do it. All right, COM 1. I'm going to go for the weather, 135.625. And 122.8 is the VATSIM Unicom. So going 2-4. See, now I'm wondering if I did Microsoft Weather, if it would have snow or not. Because we don't really have a lot of snow up here. It might have just been on the coast the other day. Transponder would be nice too. Not test. Alright, so listen. So far, so good. Again, we're testing the frame rate here, and I have VSync on now, so... Oh. Alright, see, it's going to mess this up now. That is a Microsoft Flight Simulator error when you use these radio panels from SciTech and Logitech. Alright, there we go. Yeah, let us know. Alright, my frame rate, I put VSync on now, and I did take off that stupid motion blur. And I'm pulling about 30 frames, even while streaming on the same computer. But we're going to see, because I did this flight off of Twitch, and it went down to 9 frames per second, pretty harsh right around Limington, Harmon. So we're going to see if that little thing that I did fixed this. We're using the same aircraft I did, the 152 with the mod and everything. ADS-B will be on with the nav lights. That's what we'll pretend ADS. We just got altimeter set. Radio test. Let's go to Boston Center. 134.7. Boston Center, November 489 Echo Foxtrot. Radio check, please. Thank you, 9 Echo Foxtrot. All right, taxi lights on. Brakes will test on the way out. And we're going to go do a run-up off of 2-4. So let me turn off this checklist just temporarily while we go to 2-4. Clear on the right, clear on the left. And here we go. Parking brake was already off. Thank you. Brakes are good. And we're on our way. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like this much snow here in real life. I gotta be honest with you. That's because there might have been a little touch of snow the other day. So Rex Weather Force has that wrong. But let's quickly switch to the regular weather for Microsoft. So let's check out what it would be for them, because I'm kind of intrigued. Gotta let it load still. It just cleared out the old weather. Oh, interesting. What does that look like? It's supposed to be clear. So it's okay that those are clouds, but they gotta be very high clouds. Alright, let's get an ATIS from them really fast. I'm just intrigued at seeing what the real world weather's saying for Microsoft. Yeah, it's supposed to be clear. So that is not correct, according to real life. So I'm going to switch back to clear sky. Actually, yeah, clear skies, so we're just going to use Rex Weather Force. But you can see why Rex Weather Force is still a good thing to have. And we're on VATSIM Unicom now. We'll call out on that in a second. I'm going to also Rex Weather Force to reload. Check our left. Pretend this sign's not there. That is a Microsoft Flight Simulator problem, not mine. Oh my god, a sign just went right through the plane. And then to the right. Clear on the right. Plymouth traffic, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot crossing runway 1533 at Echo Plymouth, because this is Echo in real life. Oh, cool. I thought you meant it was ballsy. I was like, yeah, it is kind of ballsy. But yeah, I'm sure it is. It's kind of cool to be able to just trust more about instruments and stuff, I would think. But hopefully, maybe this summer. I might be putting that off just a little bit because I'm going to get some familiarization flights in a Piper Warrior in May, hopefully, with my instructor. And then I figured I'd have more of a selection of aircraft to pick from then with instrument training. If I wanted to do the Piper, obviously I'd have to fly that for a little bit and get really comfortable with it. But once I get signed off, it'd just be, hey, take some solo flights, have some fun with it. And it's going to accomplish a lot of things because I could fly 5 aircraft. It is ballsy. Trust computers only? Come on. All right, there's 5 aircraft I can fly. There's 2 152s, 3 172s right now at the flight school. If I add the Piper Warriors on, it goes up to 7. So if one's booked or something happens to an aircraft that goes down, I'll have more to choose from. We're at the run-up session here, so let me get my checklist on. And so far, so good. Nothing's really slowed down, knock on wood. On frames, at least. We're still pulling 30 frames. So, all right, brakes are set. Fuel is on. Yes, it is, because it's still working. There's only one fuel valve on this. Trim set for takeoff. Go up a little higher on that. Thank you. Yeah. Flight controls, do the box. I'd look outside at this point. There we go. Everything's looking good. Free and correct. Mixture best power primers in and locked. We test that in real life because we don't want the primer slipping out. 1700 RPMs. I'm going to check the mags. Right. Good. Back to both. Notice that needle's not really moving that much. Left. I mean, a little bit, but not a lot. Back to both. Carb heat's going on. Now it goes down. That's good. Vacuum looks good. Amps and volts. That'd be over here. Hello. Charging slightly, so that works in this, unlike the 172. Oil pressure, oil temperature. That's why I moved that thing. Is in the green. Idling. Very good. Right about where it should be. Carb heat going off. That should go up slightly, which it did, and back to 1,000. All right, there's a problem on the takeoff roll, mechanical emergency otherwise, and there's enough available runway headrest will abort takeoff and land directly ahead on the runway. If we are under 850 feet in this problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will land directly ahead, no more than 30 turns. Best glide speed in the 152 is 60. If we are above 850 feet and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we'll take a turn to the right into the winds and land downwind on the taxiway, the grass, the runway, whatever is available to us. Best glide speed again is 60 in the 152. Other than that, we're pretty good to go. We'll turn the strobes on, even though I never have them in a 152 in real life. I turn all lights on when I fly. I don't care if it's day or night. It's just maximum visibility. So, and I kind of thought you didn't use strobes except for night, but my teacher was like, well, it's just an extra light, so why not use it? So I figured, yeah, you're right. Why not use it? All right. I'm also a Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer as well as VATSIM, so this is a multiplayer person right here. I'm on the East server if you did want to join us on our flight, and this man's going to crash right through me. Beautiful. Where'd he end up? Oh, he ended up over there. He just wanted to have some fun. All right, so let's line up and get ready to go here. We're going to pretend that he's not there, by the way. That's what I do with Microsoft Flight Simulator Weather. I just do that. All right, multiplayer. Just do that so people can fly with me and not on VATSIM. All right. And again, we'll call for flight following when we're up there from Boston Center, but we want to get up there first. All right, that's roll traffic up there, I believe. No one on downwind, no one on base. Pretend that this guy's not here. No one on final. I would check crosswind just to make sure, but I can't really do that with this point of view. But we will go with it. And maybe I will wait for this guy. We'll see. So the whole short line's right about here. He's taking the runway. That's fine. I'll wait for him. He better depart, though. Turn off this checklist and get ready for departure. I think this is the command. That is correct. Come on, Ocean 21, get going. We're going to rotate at 50, and we're going to climb at 67, by the way. So that is the VY and rotation speed. And here we go. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Radical Foxtrot, departing runway 24, departure to the north. Plymouth. All right, here we go. Buckle them up, gentlemen. On our way to Limington, Harmon, on what would be practice for a rural flight to visit my ex-coworker up there. She's like, you can stay overnight too, but the thing is I have family, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But here we go. Centered, heels on the floor. Here we go. Rotate at 50, climb at 67. This snow thing's a little overdone, don't you think? Where you can't see the runway a lot. Just saying. Ailerons to the right a little bit. Rotate. I should have rotated already, but that's okay. Climb at 67. And here we go. Now, in real life, there's a noise ordinance here. You have to go out to the power lines. You got to get to about 1,150 feet and then continue onto the power lines if you have to, because there's a mobile park on our left, and they don't like the airplanes. However, the airport did come here first, so you think, why would you move in there? Yeah, oh, definitely a different ball game. Yeah, you're not seeing anything to a certain degree. But, I don't know. I'm going to have to start practicing for that too, but seeing I got an X-plane, I might go for that Piper Warrior now. I've got all three, the trifecta here, and each simulator has its pros and cons, but X-plane by far is the best flight dynamics I've seen of any flight simulator, even over this one. This one is second, and then Prepared is third on flight dynamics, if you ask me. I'm still experimenting with that, and I might even do a full review on the Eric Flight YouTube channel. I haven't really done any simulator videos for a while. But over here, you see this? This is the mobile park area, and this is the power lines right there. So I'm going to fly out there no matter what. We're going to climb up to 9,500, believe it or not. Yeah, we're going to push it. And that's so we can be well above Class Bravo. I could have went at 7,500, but the whole thing is that I want to maintain a way long distance away from the Class Bravo. In real life, I haven't decided if I want to do... we're at the power lines. And I'm going to wait a little while longer. I'm going to depart straight out and then go to the north here, just so I get above the jet pattern altitude of 1,650 feet. And yes, we do get jets in the Plymouth there and there, little corporate jets. Okay, reduce the nose down to about 70, 75. Hence cooling of the engine and better visibility over the nose. All right, looking right, rock the wing up, looking good. Taking a turn to the right so we can go right on path here. But we do have to climb a lot before we get to Plymouth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kids, they're the older people. And it's funny because my instructor is in like his early 70s. And they said, John, we know it's you. It's all your fault. So I don't know. All right, we're going to establish here just to make sure we're good. Yeah, looking really good. All right, we're going to keep climbing. I'm going to trim up so I don't have to keep holding this yoke back. Right about, oh, keep going. I don't know what I did to my trim wheel, but it works a lot better with the sensitivities. I dialed in something right. Still a little finicky, but it's not like before. Usually I don't trim a lot in the 152. I'm going to be honest with you, only on cruise and maybe a climb. But other than that, there's not a lot to it. Yeah, Plymouth Airport, I think it's been there since like the 30s, and then it got taken over for World War II, and then they gave it back. So it's quite interesting. All right, we're going to turn more on course here, but there's no problem going out here because I need the altitude. So to the right, we're looking good. Clear. And our heading, I'm just using GPS, by the way, so we're going all out just with my electronic flight bag right there. I didn't really do any flight logs or anything. But we know Sanford, Maine's up there, too, which my coworker again said, oh, go there, I'll pick you up there, too, but Limington, Harmon's closer. However, the runway's not in the best shape, but we'll do what we can. All right, we're going to lean out the mixture slightly for maximum RPMs. Right about there. Good. Turning more on course here. Looking pretty good. And yeah, I don't think it looks this snowy in real life. I gotta be honest with you. Especially where I'm living out here. It's not that snowy. I don't have any snow on my ground. But we'll just go with it because Rex Weather Force seems to have the better winds. And our flight today should take about an hour and a half. So that's what we're doing here. Again, electronic flight bag right there, and that's where we are. We're going to line up more on course, hence why we're going to the east a little bit more. I should probably also say that I'm going to 63 Bravo, because right now it thinks I'm going to Plymouth for some weird reason. And, yep. We'll get to go fly right by Boston, which will be kind of cool, too. And keep climbing. Keep climbing. We have to be over 7,000 feet to be over the Bravo, so we're going to trim it down now. There's no CDI nav switch in this thing, I'll tell you. Most you have in this is just VORs, so... I'm trying to get some more altitude. That's why we're going up to like 70 sometimes. But alright. And typically what I'll do, I've done this in real life to go over the Bravo too, is I'll take a 360 while climbing if I'm still not there by the time I get close to the line. Yeah, what's your reasoning on that? Is this a pole? Am I involved in a pole? That frame rate is holding pretty good right now, so maybe that little thing I did is... It's definitely helping out. All I did was I turned off the full display optimization or whatever from Windows, and it seems to make the simulator work a little bit better. But we'll see what happens to my frames as we get closer to Limington Harmon. Yeah, you probably should, especially if you're doing instrument, though. Instrument's a little different because, again, if you have no reference to the ground, you got to be able to plug that thing in and know where you're going, you know. And even though the GPS usually has a nearest and this and that, you kind of want to be familiar with an airport if you're doing instrument. If you got visual, obviously you can see things a little bit better. So, all right, lean out the mixture a little bit more. Maximum RPMs. Right about there is good. And we're still climbing here. Let's see. What can I show you around here? Not much, because it's all snow, and I'm trying to figure out where things are. There is an airfield here. Actually, it should be right off the right of this thing. And that would be Cranland. I think my wing strut's in the way. But I'm going to be practicing some short field landings there sometime this summer by myself. And again, if it doesn't look good, we'll just go around and get an instructor. But it's right there, that airfield. It's only, let's see how big that is, actually. It's a place to do short field landings. It's only 1,700 feet long. So I'd probably take the 152, and I'd definitely look at the performance charts before I go there. We almost did it before. I did simulated short field takeoffs and landings for the private, obviously, but my instructor, we went there one day, and we were maxing out the Cessna 152, because, you know, it's a Cessna 152, and he voted against it because it was summer, and it was thin air, so it would take us a larger distance to land there, and we probably could have done it, but he was just being cautious. All right, we're at 6,000 feet almost. We're still outside the Bravo. I'm going to start heading towards it, and if we have to, we'll take a left 360. So, yeah, but when you do an instrument, you don't know if the conditions are going to change or whatever. At least with VFR, it's like, you're going to look at everything anyways, but probably if you have instrument, I would think that you'd probably want an alternate just in case, because you never know when things are going to change. Okie dokie. We're also going to call it Boston Center, so let's do that now for flight following. Actually, approaches 133.0, so we'll contact them. This is what keeps my skills somewhat sharp when I can't fly for real. Alright, we ready? Let me think about what I had to say, because it's been so long. Alright, where are we in relation to things? We're about 5 nautical miles to the southeast of Cranland, so. Boston approach, November 489 Echo Foxtrot. Good morning. Says at 9 Echo Foxtrot, 5 miles to the northwest of Kilo Papa Yankee Mike. Currently at 6,700, requesting flight following. We're en route to 63 Bravo. 3433, 9 Echo Foxtrot. They're almost at 7,000 now. We're going up to 9,500. That is a lot, so we're going to lean off the mixture. That's a lot for a 152. I think the ceiling on this is... See, Roger, maintain course and maintain VFR, 9 Echo Foxtrot. So anyways, we're going to lean out this mixture here. But we're getting up there. We can now go over the Bravo because we're over 7,000 feet. So we're going to just continue on, and we're almost basically on course here. We're going to go right over the water here, which is, again, why I chose 9,500. Because that way I can glide in somewhere, probably to Boston Logan if there's a problem. So more altitude equals more time, which is exactly why I think in the real world I'd probably do 9,500, even though it's really, really high. The highest I've ever been with an aircraft in real life, I think, is 8,500. So, and that was just beautiful, honestly, to go over Class Bravo at 8,500. You got to see jets coming up and stuff, and obviously you want flight following at that point. Just why, again, we're going to do it today as well. So, but very stable flying today. Again, Cranland over here to our left. They have like breakfast and stuff there too. I'm still waiting for them to cash my check for the Taunton Pilot Association too, which should be another thing. But still have to be wary of COVID. I feel better now that I've had my second vaccination, and I'm just waiting for it to kick in. CDC says 2 weeks. So then I will hopefully be able to fly with other passengers who got vaccinated as they get vaccinated. So I encouraged all my friends, saying, hey, let me know when you get vaccinated. We'll still wear masks, but we'll be able to go up and do things. So, okay, coming up on 8,000. We're still kicking here. Ground speed, not that good, because again, we're up in the upper levels here. We're talking 45 knot ground speed. But again, it's about being safe, and in the real world, I'd probably want to have the altitude, especially if I'm going over this water over here, Massachusetts Bay. So, let's take a look outside. It's not this snowy. It's definitely not this snowy. We're about 8,000 feet right here. Moving ever so slowly. Of course, when we stop climbing, we'll be good. But, yeah, this is what happens. Yeah, I mean, in Alternate Airport, you should pick anytime you're going to be in questioning weather. This is my opinion, of course. When you're questioning weather or, harsher conditions, Something like that. You know it. .07. Oh boy, I wish I had like a sound file for that. .07. Engage. Or I do have this at least. We could do this. We can pretend that we're just as fast as the Starship Enterprise. Number 1, make it so. That's right. Make it so. We're on course. 8,500 and climbing for another 1,000 feet here. We're almost on course, but we're not moving very fast ground speed wise. 45 knots. And if you look at Rex weather for us, we can kind of see where the winds aloft are. 355, 35 knots. So we got a heavy headwind as well. So we'll be fighting that the whole flight as well. But yesterday, I guess the winds were up gusting to 30, 32, 35, real life in some places here. So that would have been good. Good fixins. Welcome, 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 sir. How are you doing? We're I've never made a plane stand still in the simulator, but this is probably as close as I've gotten with this headwind here. We're there's Cranland, everyone. It feels like what you call it, European vacation with Chevy Chase there. Hey kids, Cranland. So yeah, we're just gonna keep fighting it, and eventually we'll stop climbing. The good news is it gives you time to climb because we're not even in Bravo yet. How's that? Not even in Bravo yet. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's look at VATSIM while we're still climbing here. I still have about 400 feet to go. But here's Plymouth, and here's where we are. We got to get out to Limington, Harmon, which is way up around here, I believe. So this is going to be interesting at 45 knots so far on the climb. But yeah, we'll do it. Let's lean out the mixture a little bit more. Kick those RPMs in. Right about there. And yeah. You know it. You know it. Yeah. Well, this thing only burns about 6 gallons per hour, so I got 4 hours on it, so. Whereas the 172 typically at cruise burns about 8.5. I always overestimate and say 10, so I have reserves in fuel. That's in my planning at least. And even this burns like more like 5.8, 5.7, 5.8 I think is typically what it does in a normal cruise, but I always round up to 6 because it's always good to have that extra thing. All right, let's trim down now that we're at 9,500. Beautiful. No autopilot on this thing. Oh no, 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 no. We fly this bare white knuckles here. All right, and we're on our way. Ground speed's slowly climbing like I said it would. You know it would. We're at 52 knots now. We might just have to keep this at 2,500. And I'm just trimming it to keep it even here. Interesting. But we also have to see if that frame slowdown is going to happen around Limington Harmon. Right now I'm pulling about 20, and that's probably because of Boston. That's not terrible with streaming on the same computer and everything. No, I always try to leave with full fuel tanks if I can. It's just weight and balance that you have to worry about. But if I'm flying in a 172 and 152, I'm not maxing the thing out. So fuel means life, you know what I mean? If you get bad weather, if you have to turn around, if you have to stay above the clouds for like a half an hour, you know, because it'll clear out, always have extra fuel. Always have extra fuel. And again, that would be in proper flight planning. Like right now, I just know this is going to take about an hour and a half. So... Hey, Better CP, what's going on? Thank you for following me on Twitch. Nice to have you here. So yeah, always top off the tanks if you can. That's my philosophy at least. But again, I haven't gone far enough to say I had to go refuel at a different airport and then Plymouth. I usually return it. I think the most I've ever flown was about 3 hours, so I was down to about 25% of a tank. And that's where you really want to start thinking. I mean, that was kind of stretching it that day. The instructor even got on the wing and said, "Do you know how much fuel you got?" But I knew, you know what I mean? And it's because I was only signed up for the 152. This is shortly after I got my private. And I was taking my friend up, and we maxed out the plane. So I actually had to do some pattern work for about a good 45 minutes to get the thing down for maximum takeoff weight. And yeah, that's why I had like 25% of a tank left. So part of that 3 hours was practicing the pattern, getting some landings in, and getting the fuel down. Because once they fill it, they don't really want to take fuel out of it at the flight school. They don't really. I guess it must be a liability thing or something. But yeah. All right, we're up to 70 on the ground speed here. This is going to be a long flight. It says an hour and 20 minutes on the electronic flight bag, if you will. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So an hour 20. We're over class Bravo, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm already getting flight following on VATSIM, so they know where I am and what I'm doing. And there you go, good fixins. Finally, it played your sound. Yep. So I'm with you. Although I'm not supposed to say with you anymore because I was slandered by many different people in the Virtue USA Flying Club for saying with you, which was a bad habit because I did that in the real world. But yeah, we're just chugging along at 65 knot ground speed at 9,500 in a small 152 where the door could pop out at any second. I've never had it pop out at high altitude, but in the pattern and at low altitudes, definitely. Out there we have Provincetown. That's a great place to go. I plan on going there this summer again. There's a lot of places, now that we got the vaccination going on and this and that I plan on going to this summer. So it's just time and family, though, I have to worry about. Because, again, no one in my family wants to fly with me. And I'm just going to leave it at 2,500. Typically, we'd go down to 2,400. So, yeah. Always go full fuel whenever possible. It just gives you more time and security. There's no reason why you shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's not going to totally affect your flying style or anything, except for being fuller, you know. But yeah, even if I fly for only an hour, like way back in the day like I used to, full fuel's the way to go. All right, well, we're almost over Scituate, Massachusetts, off to our right. I actually researched this week. We might be over Steven Tyler of Aerosmith's house. He lives out here. He lives in Marshfield, Scituate area, right around here. So, in fact, I think it's right around here. But the man gave me my college diploma from Berklee College of Music. He was the honorary doctorate that year, so that was quite interesting. And also, it was kind of ironic because he was my first rock concert at age 13 that I went to. So it's kind of weird. All right. Well, good fixins. Thank you for popping on. Always appreciate it. And we'll see if this frame rate thing happens again or not. But thank you for the departing monkey. Good fixins. I can always count on you to test all that stuff for me. But all right, we just wanted this one flight for today. Again, we're trying to see if Microsoft Flight Simulator will hold up to what it's supposed to be doing. So far, it's a little bit better. They haven't released a patch or anything, but Boston Logan's out there in the distance. Can't really see the buildings here at all for Boston, which is kind of disheartening. I thought you would be able to see it by now. I have it on ultra settings, so you'd think it would be, but I guess at the higher altitudes, maybe not, you know? And it's definitely not snowy here today. All right, so again, stabilized at 9,500. Plymouth way back there in the distance, and we're not moving for crap here. We're at 66 knot ground speed. So this is going to be a longer flight than I anticipated, but if I actually studied and did a flight log, the winds aloft and everything, I probably would have known that. So, and again, I kind of want it to be somewhat real life where I'd go up to 9,500. So that way I'd have enough altitude to glide somewhere should an engine cease to exist. So, oh, cool. Yeah, you got to take pictures, video, you know, maintaining safety while you do that. But you got to take pictures and video, and you have to share them on the Virtual USA Flying Club. We got to see this thing. That's awesome, man. Okay, my Bitcoin's been doing pretty good, so I'm about $6,000 saved up for a plane, which is about almost half for a decent down payment, maybe on a 172. That's just okay, but we'll keep saving. Again, I haven't flown in real life in about a month and about 5 weeks. It's been. And I can't fly this weekend due to the vaccination happening yesterday. So, yeah, definitely. You got to document that thing. Heck, I would even put that on YouTube, man, if you feel comfortable with that, because you probably have a lot of people interested in seeing that. To go to the factory and back, that's awesome. A vlog, if you will. And I'll have that Vatsiminicom in case I should get transferred over. But yeah, we're not. Oh, well, we're up to 72 knots. Ground speed, that is. But yeah, typically doesn't take this long, even at 9,500. It's just the winds are coming from the north this today. Still an hour and 15 minutes out here. We're about to go over Massachusetts Bay, though, so that's cool. And the frame rate is doing okay, even with VSync on, which I never had on before. Typically, it would go up by about 10 frames if I took VSync off. But I said, hey, let's just throw it all out there and see if that little thing I did in Microsoft Flight Simulator will do it. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah. So, someone asked me if I would live stream a real flight. And I have my, I guess if you set it up all ahead of time and then didn't pay attention to it and didn't care about it, I guess that wouldn't be bad, but I wouldn't be like focusing on it nor looking at a chat. So I'd just let it run if I were ever to do that and not worry about it. That's true. Well, you have another pilot with you too that could kind of just say you have the controls, you know. I did that before with my friend there when we flew to Nashua, New Hampshire and back. He had it overclass Bravo, and I was the pilot in command the whole time, though, because he was not a private pilot. He still is not. But he had a lot of training. He was supposed to go with the check ride with me, and he just wasn't ready. So, but I had him holding steady over Bravo while I took a couple pictures, and I was in charge of communications and all that. So we had a common understanding, and we did the proper passing. I said, you have controls. But again, it wasn't like forever. I was watching the whole time. Yeah, no. I don't know how I feel about that, because there's some, you know what it comes from? This guy, there's a couple like truckers in real life that like live stream, and that's great, you know, I guess. I mean, I think that would be kind of a violation of so I just don't feel right about doing it. So I just said how I would do it, but I don't feel right about doing it. So. There we go, the better CP. Represent the CP. There we go. We got some buildings in Boston now. Yeah. Again, Microsoft Flight Simulator traffic, we just kind of don't pay attention to it. It's just there in case anyone wants to fly with me, and they're not on VATSIM. So feel free. We're about to go over Massachusetts Bay, so I'd say if you're going to load up at Logan or next airport above is probably Plum Island, 2 Bravo 2. That's across the bay here. So, but I've never been on this side in real life of Boston. I went above, like right above it, to the slightly to the west, and I got some fantastic pictures, which I would love to share with you. But I don't know if they're still on my Google Drive because that's basically full, and it keeps telling me that. So I'll see what I got. I might have even deleted them. You know what though? I think might be in my hard drive here. So give me a second. Created and posted, and it'd be the, yeah, there is Nashua. We'll see if I got pictures here. Cell phone pics and vids. All right, I think I do. Boston at 8,500 feet. So get ready for it, people. I'm going to put it right on the screen here. So that's Boston at 8,500 feet from the going west of it. So right downtown Boston. We were above some scattered clouds there, so that took a little planning too. But we punched through a hole to get down to Nashua later on. That's one of them. Let's see what else I got here. That's another picture of Boston with scattered clouds at 8,500 feet. Let me just make sure I'm pretty stable here. I am. Okay. And yeah, I took a bunch. And then this is down in Nashua on the ground there with my mask in all its glory. Well, my friend used the restroom. And I put this is departing Nashua. I think. I'm not positive on that. It's been a while. This was back in July of 2020. And then not quite sure what this is. But that kind of shows you the scattered clouds. There's more than enough room to get in there. And we took the 172p on that. So, yep. I'm not sure what this is either. I zoomed in on something. That might be Worcester, maybe? No, I didn't go out to it. I went to Worcester on the way back, actually, so maybe. Yeah. Oh, boy. That's why you don't do that stuff. That's why you don't do that stuff. Ooh, I even have video. So if you want, I might be able to show you some video. Let's see what this is. You're going to hear a double sound here for a second. As soon as it wants to load, that is. With VLC player. Yeah, so this was a jet coming through. See that? That's a Southwest jet coming out of Logan. Well, we're at 8,500 above the Bravo. That was cool. That was really, really cool to see that. Yep. And then, I think I just got a video of us going around Boston. So, I got to get more on course here to the east anyways, but. I can't, no, I don't know what that is. I totally forget what it was. But that other one was pretty awesome with Southwest there, busting through the clouds above the Bravo. And let's get a better look at Boston. Now that we're chugging along at 68 knot ground speed. Oh, okay. Well, if you still feel good about it, we could talk about it this summer. There's a lot of things I'd like to do, and it's all dependent upon weather for me more than you, obviously, if you get that instrument rating. But, yeah, you know, we could meet up at Plymouth for a little lunch or something, as long as we're all safe there from COVID, and we're good. But should be decent. I think people are really getting all this COVID stuff down. And the only thing we have to worry about is that mutation and all that stuff. But we're not going to... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and I kind of said it to everyone that flies at me. You have to be vaccinated first now, seeing that I am vaccinated. There's a reason why I taught from home for a year. It'll be about a year and 2 weeks since I've been back to the school after school to get stuff, but I haven't taught in a school building for a year and probably... Let's see, it's been almost a week now, a year and a week. So about a year and 3 weeks. So, and I'm a music teacher, so that doesn't help me either with band because there's just a bunch of guidelines and making people feel safe with that. Kind of like flying, you know. But it is what it is. But yeah, we'll meet up, Nick, when we're all good to go and everything. So, in fact, I sent out my friend who was on that flight with me. I sent him out a text message the other day saying, hey, let me know when you get vaccinated. He's a teacher as well. So, but we met up at the airport when we were both doing our training. And we were supposed to do the check ride together to save on costs for the transportation of the designated pilot examiner. But again, they had someone else lined up because my instructor just said he wasn't ready. So, but hope to fly with him pretty soon and my friends and stuff once we're vaccinated here. COVID's just really... I mean, I can only imagine the things I would have done if COVID wasn't around. It was a stretch just to go to Martha's Vineyard last summer and also Provincetown and take the e-bike out, which I'd love to do that a lot more. Not only would I get exercise, but like to go around and visit places. That's awesome. And when I took the e-bike out there, there were other pilots going and saying, "Hey, what's that?" You know, so it was kind of cool. One was totally mystified how I got in the back of a 152. It was very hard work, but I made it happen, and lots of bungee cords to keep it strapped to right to the back of the seat. Because again, you'll throw off the weight and balance a lot if you go back there. But right behind the seat, we made it happen. Do. And again, you know, the reason why I take COVID so seriously is only because I had a high school acquaintance, not a friend, just an acquaintance, someone I knew, and he actually didn't make it and left a wife and 2 kids. So that wasn't gonna be me, you know. That is an interesting. You still have to call departure, obviously, with the all that stuff. So, but that's gotta be interesting. Of course, if you have IFR conditions, there's probably not gonna be a lot of VFR pilots there. But if it's a clear day and you just want an IFR clearance, then yeah, that's gotta be quite interesting. Kind of the same in a way, just that you get all your instructions ahead of time and do all that. But it's a lot of knowledge at that point. Like, you should be able to pilot an aircraft, obviously. It's just a lot of knowledge that you have to know, from what I understand, because I'm not instrument rated. But makes you a better pilot. It's got to make you a better pilot. You know, even just in VFR, it doesn't matter. You know. All right, well, we're halfway through Massachusetts Bay. We would have probably been over it in a normal day with nice winds, but we're at 68 knots here. So it's going to take way longer than what I thought. So that's why, again, you take full fuel tanks, because I know I had 4 hours of fuel, and it's probably going to take me about 2 hours, or maybe even a little over 2 hours to do this. Yes, exactly, yeah. But, yeah, nothing much out there. That's the Atlantic Ocean, everybody. And again, there's no snow really. There might be a touch of snow from yesterday, but it won't be like layered on there like it is thanks to Rex Weather Force. But we tried Microsoft Live Weather before we left too, and that was just not accurate at all. They had clouds at like 4,000. We're supposed to be clear today, the whole way.
Good evening, Boston.
Clear. Clear at Sanford, and then Limington Harmon doesn't even have weather, so we're going to tune into Portland International, another airport I want to go to in the future too. Is it Portland International? No, it's Peace. I'm sorry, which is or is that Peace? I can't remember. I had it planned out a long time ago until COVID destroyed everything. But those winds are kicking from the north. You can see that with the crests and the waves there. And Microsoft Flight Simulator does a nice job of that. So, things you look for, you know. Really, really disturbed down there. And you can see that they're kind of falling this way, so you know the wind's from the north. Which is why we have a terrible 66 knot headwind here. So in real life, I don't think I would have gone on this just because I wouldn't want to be up here that long when I could do the flight another day. But there's a lot of things we're testing today. Microsoft Flight Simulator. If it does that thing again where it locks to 9 frames, it's not so far. Knock on wood. We're up at 30 frames again. Looking pretty good. Boston downtown there. And, yeah. Got the moon out there. Provincetown, leaving our visibility here. Nice sun and beautiful weather to fly, just heavy winds from the north. Alright, I'm even going to test my Twitch and how that's going. They have this thing called inspector.twitch.tv. And I was having problems getting this to stream at 1080, but I think we're good. It says stable. So that might have been a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing too. Yep, and I'm at 1080 60 frames again. So I don't know, but I've been tweaking this thing, hence why we didn't stream for the longest time, and it seems to be working now. All right, let's get actually, I could call into you. Let's do that. No, actually, no. I was going to get an updated altimeter setting, but we're good. The rule is 100 nautical miles. We're good. Sure, if there's a problem or a change approach would let me know. Typically in the real world, when you switch off to approaches, because we would have went through like probably 2 right now, they most likely give you an updated altimeter setting if it was different, like a lot different. But as far as VATSIM,
departure promoting the radar contact, climb and maintain 14,000.
For the longest time, that's what this flight is today. All that traffic out of Boston there. And then we have another pilot here. Is that an Airbus? Yeah. No. Wait, what is that? I'm looking at the 322. That's my problem. No, he's in I don't even know what that is. C25A/L. If anyone knows what that is, let me know. Other than that, doing good. Jet Pilot Cinnamon, thank you for coming in. Thank you so much, and thank you for resubscribing at Tier 1.
Well, who does?
It's nice to have you aboard, sir. How are you feeling? Hopefully better. That's all I'm going to say. But we're over Massachusetts Bay. We're going up to Limington, Maine, which would be a real-world flight I'd like to do for an ex-coworker that lives up there. So, you better believe it. We're trolling along here, 70-knot ground speed. 70 knots. I should probably head more to the east. Maybe I'll deflect some of that. And again, we picked 9,500 because I just wanted to be safe like I would in the real world so I could glide somewhere in case the engine quit. But I guess we could request 7,500. I'd just like to be more towards the outer bounds of Boston Class Bravo. I know at 7,500 it'd still be 500 feet above it, but we're good. So I'm glad you're feeling better. And I'm sorry about your training, but I'm sure you'll do fine as soon as they get you back in there. So I just got the second vaccine yesterday, and I had a headache last night, but that's about it so far. So, and a sore arm. And of course, I can't fly for the next 48 hours, or else I would have booked a flight for today if I could have. Today would have been a nice day to fly. I don't know where I'd go. I'm still trying to think about going to New Haven and Bridgeport next on my cross-country flights, so I can say, hey, I've been to all the Connecticut airports along the Long Island Sound coast there. Well, I didn't want to come out and say that, Nick, but now that you said that. Well, it's good that you're recovering, sir. And by Corona, he meant the drink, right? But it'll be good. You'll get where you have to go, and things will be fine. So, all right, we're just cruising along at a hearty speed of 64 knot ground speed. And you can see those winds are really pushing from the north here. That's what's causing all this. Also, taking the 152 doesn't help, but figure the... That's right, live here. It's cool. Don't worry about it, man. Again, all this snow, extraneous snow, I think that's the word I'm looking for, extraneous, I'm just going to go with it anyways, is not really like that in real life. I got to be honest, I don't think it is. It isn't where I'm living in Massachusetts. But we're seeing if there's any slowdowns. There's your sound, Jet Pilot, Cinnamon. It's always delayed. I've always noticed that. I don't know if there's a setting I could fix with that, but Nick, I still got to get you one, bud. And I think you gave me an idea for one before, but then I was like, I didn't really find it. So let me know what you have an idea for a sound, seeing that you are a constant person that watches my Twitch streams. A commendable feat, my friend. And I'll get you a sound to announce you're coming. So far I have not been locked down to 9 frames per second, and I did this flight again offline twice. Once an X-Plane, by the way, which I'm starting to really like. So we might start streaming some X-Plane along with Prepared maybe for the 172N. But I also bought the Piper Archer for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But things seem to be working out better there by telling it to not use the Windows optimization for gaming. So that's all right. If you come up with one, let me know, Nick. Exactly. Just cruising along, chugging at 66 knots ground speed. Still about an hour out from Limington. Thought it was going to take an hour and a half. It's probably going to be like 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes. But again, for that person that asked me, I think it's Titanium Druid asked me, do you always leave with full fuel tanks? Yes. Because if you, I mean, typically you calculate this out in a flight log and know what your winds and lofts are and an idea of how long it's going to take with a headwind. But I didn't do that. I just jumped in the plane, got the electronic flight bag on, and said, let's do this. But we're about to come on the other side of Massachusetts Bay right now. So leaving the Boston area. Probably going to request 7,500 after I get out of the Bravo. Maybe that will give us a little bit more oomph here. Let me check what the winds aloft are. This is out of Beverly, Massachusetts. Yeah, it's a little bit less as you descend, so that's why. It's 44 knots at 355, you know. But it's about the same, actually, between here, 70,500. Yeah, we'll try it anyways. Get closer to the ground. Have some fun. So we'll do that in a second. Now that we're over in Massachusetts Bay, I don't have to worry as much. And even though I'm over this water, there's a whole coastline here. And you have Plum Island, and you have Hampton. 7 Bravo 3 over here. So, and I know I had scenery for Orbex on that, for Prepared, for Plum Island and stuff. But I can't remember if I got it from Microsoft Flight Simulator or not, because I went nuts with scenery and don't remember everything I got. But, God, I'm not entirely positive that anymore because I'm used to saying 160 because of the 172, but I will check that up. It says no. I think at 150. Specs. I think it's 150. It might not be. Airframe, power plant. Here we go. 110. Yeah, so it's not 150 at all. I knew it was going to be really low. 110 at 2550. We're at 2,500 RPMs right now, but we're also up at 9,500, which isn't going to give us much there. So, and I guess it's 108 horsepower for in 1983 and above. But these are only made till 1985, so. But I knew it was going to be a longer flight because of that, but this would be the plane I would take on a good day to go up there by myself. So that's why I said, let's go with it, you know. And with that mod there, it makes it a very good flight, so. Roger, 9 Echo Foxtrot. Okay, 3045. There we go. Beautiful. Yep. Chugging along with a powerful 110. That's why if I ever thought about getting a 172, I really wanted the 180 horsepower conversion, so you get that useful weight of 1,000. But this is very scenic. See, this is right along the coast there. Not exactly direct, but I would skim this coast here if I was in real life, just to have that option there in case the engine quit. But at 9,500, we're chugging out. And we're just about out of the Class Bravo airspace. We're not in it, but we're above it. So we're right at the border right now. Yeah, I think the only thing they make now are the 182, the 172, and whatever the double engine is there, the 300 series or whatever it is. If you go to the website, they kind of tell you what they make. But they're pretty good aircraft. I really want to get in that Piper Warrior and see the difference and be able to fly more than just Cessnas, but that was always on my docket there. And if you see, I'm also doing that in the simulator with the Diamond 40, the DV20, which is really the DA20 if it's made in Canada or whatever. And haven't really streamed the DV20 yet, though. But yeah, it's a very slow flight, 70 knots right now. The power of wind that people don't think about unless you become a pilot, you know? And the Lycoming 235 has been in production since 1942. So that kind of tells you the technology in this thing. Yeah. The 400, yeah, that would be it. But what was that? What was that new plane that they bought? I think from Italy for Cape Air, because they're trying to replace their Cessnas with that thing now. And I don't think I've seen one yet when flying, but I probably will soon, especially if I go to New Bedford for lunch and stuff. That's something I think I will do, entertain really soon on one of my flights, just going for a lunch or dinner at New Bedford again. That'd be awesome. But also want to get into the controllable pitch prop too, with a Cardinal or a 182, I guess, in the future. But again, we're just more about, let's see what the flight school has and go with that. And the Piper Warrior seemed like the next best thing to do. And I don't even know if they have a controllable pitch prop. I think it depends on the Piper Warrior, right? So let's take a look at it. That's it, the Avanti. Yeah, something like that. But here is my flight school. And then here's the online scheduling where we do our scheduling. But where's the fleet there? I might have to blow this up. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. So this is what they have. Again, that's what I like for my flight school. They have a wide range of choices here. And I think this is the one I signed up for to get familiar on in May. So very much the same performance aspects of a 172. They have that old GPS map 295. That's also in the 172P I fly. That thing's a piece of junk compared to modern technology. But the price is a little lower. It's $5 lower than the VFR 172P. So, you know, $5 less. It's about the same on useful load here as the 172M, the 172N. The 172P might have like 80 more pounds that you could do in that. But, yeah, that's what I'll be familiarizing myself on with May, as long as the weather holds out. And I'll be back for my old instructor, and then I'll also inquire about the instrument rating. Then he knows I want to do it. He knows that I'm just building cross-country hours.
Altitude, your discretion. Altitude at our discretion. 089.
Okay, we're just hugging this coast here so that we have a bailout plan. I'm trying to be somewhat realistic. Yeah, exactly. But this doesn't have a controllable pitch prop, which is what I was looking for. So, again, it's just easy controls for me that I'm used to. But definitely want to, again, now let's look at the other Piper Warrior they have. Yeah, this is the one that almost hit me, by the way.
Echo Foxtrot,
What? Give me a second.
Boston Center 134.7.
Over to center, 9 Echo Foxtrot. Thank you. 134.7. Mike, I'll try not saying with you. Boston Center, November 489 Echo Foxtrot, 9,500 VFR.
Center Echo Foxtrot, Boston Center, roger.
That was better. I haven't done that in real life yet, so I would say with you.
Traffic, climb and maintain flight level 270 up higher.
Alright, but anyways, the other Piper Warrior looks like this. And this is the one that almost hit me in the pattern during my private pilot training with the pilot that was in it. Like literally 9 feet away, my instructor's diving the plane down and we're weightless for like, 3 seconds. It was good. So, but I look forward to maybe flying this one after I become familiar with it. My instructor might tell me to fly this one as well just to get used to it. So I'll let him do the judgment on that, but it's a nice looking plane. And the Piper Warriors, if you're going to buy a plane, are actually a little bit of a better value because the Cessna market has just skyrocketed. So yeah. Yeah, that was a lesson in you keep flying the plane even if you came near death because you have to still fly the plane. So, but I've said that story several times, so I'm going to not say it over again. And there you go. That's across the coast there. Plum Island. Let's take a look out there. Plum Island should be somewhere around here. It's a little dinky airport. But right on the coast here. Really dinky. Hard to see in the snow. It's right on the coast here. So not really seeing it. I hope that wasn't for me because I couldn't really hear that radio call. It'll come back to me. Trim up a little bit. Let's get a little bit more in course here. We're very close, so we're good. But that's my next airport I'd land at, and then you have Hampton Bay up here, or Hampton. But it was a good lesson. It's a good lesson on keep flying the plane, and he made me do that. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "All right, plane's yours. Get used to flying it, because you're gonna have to do that should something like that happen." And there have been sillier things that have happened too, like as a private pilot. One time I was coming back from, God, where was it? I can't remember where I was coming from, but I was landing at Plymouth, and literally the winds were favoring 2-4, so I set myself up, made all the radio calls, and I'm on final for 2-4. My instructor is basically behind me giving a lesson, so he can vouch for me on this one. But there was a guy landing on 6 with no radio calls, no nothing. And while you don't need a radio, they should probably still have a heads up when looking for traffic. So yeah, I was on final, and there was a guy landing on 6. And luckily that guy on 6 deviated, because I was ready to deviate to the right too. I didn't really see him, honestly, till like when I got near the runway. And I didn't even know, because I was alarmed by someone on the ground who was holding short of runway 24. And luckily, he saw me, but I would have deviated to the right too. And again, looking out for each other was awesome that day. So that was another lesson learned. So yeah, you got to keep your head up. You gotta know what you're doing and be safe. So, I mean, it wasn't a near hit or anything, because I saw him down the runway landing, and then I was ready to go to the right. So I gave him one more radio call saying I was on final, and then he deviated to the right. So I don't know. No, didn't hear a word from that plane. Didn't hear a word. Didn't know what they were doing. And yeah. All right, good news. We're only 50 minutes out now at a ground speed of 64 knots. The other good news is my frames have not dropped down to 9. You know, the pilot there that was in the Piper Warrior, we had a little talk with. My instructor made me stay alarm for that talk. And that other aircraft that was landing on 6 could have, but, I mean, they deviated within enough time, and I couldn't get a till number or anything, so I'd have to figure that out. But, We had 2 witnesses to that. And like I said, it's being prepared. I was ready. I said to myself, I'm going to go to the right if he doesn't move after I saw him visually. And he did move immediately once I once again stated I was on final. But I also didn't wait till I was like down, you know, down there. I was still high enough on final where I could have gotten out of there. So, but stuff like that, you know, that's what that moment taught me back in my training, is to be pretty prepared for the things that you think you won't see. So, oh yeah, no, well, first he started off all casual, be like, I know this guy. And then when he came in, he was doing this whole brother of the skies talk to us. And then my instructor let him have it. Because obviously he didn't want us to report him. Because he was in the wrong. We called out the traffic pattern. And he was basically coming in on a crosswind entry. And he didn't bother looking at all. He basically said, if I remember right, he said he was further out than what he was. And then literally he was on top of us about 9 feet coming in when we were turning downwind. So yeah. And then I also learned that you should, if you have the room, descend below in times like that. Like he could have went to the right. He could have, but the smartest thing was what my instructor did. Full confidence in him to give that decision of descending. And it was just getting out of the way. So, but he did an awesome job. But yeah. And it was an older gentleman, so I don't know. Maybe the senses weren't as sharp as they once were. I don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. As long as no one dies, I guess, it's okay. But he got an earful. Let's put it that way. That wasn't safe at all. He tried saying that we didn't call out, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I called it out. And then I pulled up live ATC while my instructor was berating him to show him that we called out. And then it was Brother of the Skies talk after that, which, you know, I didn't consider myself one yet because I wasn't even a private pilot yet. But yeah, that was a scary moment. That was the scariest moment in training. I didn't tell my wife about that till 3 months later. Probably should have told her at all, but I try not to hide anything from my wife. All right, we're almost at Portsmouth, believe it or not. Up in the distance here. I don't know if we're going to see it yet. Let's give you an update on where we are. That's where we are. And I was hugging the coast there, so I'm trying to get a little bit on course at the same time. It doesn't really matter. You can literally just follow the coast until you have to get going here. Again, you got Hampton 7 Bravo 3 up on our left. I think this is it right here. So that's where I would go in case there's an engine out. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I can see that happening. Especially, I mean, you know, we have birds up here, but Florida I can see because you're on the water there and everything. So, yeah. Nice. Feel bad for that bird. Expect the unexpected. Flying, that's part of the beauty of flying is it keeps you on your toes. And if it's a little bit of a challenge, it's not for everybody, you know. Oh, Hanscom? Oh, okay. I thought it was down there. But yeah, I can see that. We get them out of Plymouth occasionally with the ponds, the ducks coming up and stuff like that. But I haven't had a near call with one of those. I have seen it on the discrepancies, though, with a bird strike. So they had to check the plane out. Yep. I think the question that I saw online was something about birds and saying what's the natural tendency of birds to do when they're coming at you, and it's to fly up. So you, according to that definition, you did good. You did good. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they had on a question for aviation online one time. I'd like to see more traffic, if possible, in the simulator. I know they're saving resources, but you really can't see much of anything there. Again, the performance has been great. When I did this offline before, I was getting 9 frames per second here and there already. So Alright, I'm sorry it's taking so long, but I can't control winds here. 66 knot ground speed. And we are about, say about halfway there. So, we're getting closer. A little view again. That's how far out we are from Limington, Harmon. So, I thought I would have been done right about now. Which probably would have happened in not these headwinds, but we're okay. We're going to finish out the flight and call it a day after. And then we do have an event tonight, which I'm still trying to get clearance for that. But I hope to be there tonight for the Virtual USA Flying Club event. And I got to start making those postings there about notices like the board there. Just haven't had time lately. But what's the event tonight? First flight, spring break, Outer Banks, North Carolina. So that would be kind of cool too. So I'm going to try to make it there. Again, it all depends on family and getting the time to do it. Seeing that I'm doing a flight early in the day like I wanted to, that leads a little bit more evidence to not doing it. But I'm going to try my best to make it there. So. And we've been booking this thing too, because usually I'm like 2,400. But we'll see. Again, I don't know what's all the snowy weather, because I doubt it's this snowy along the coast here. But yeah. Lots to talk about with this type of speed. But it is kind of cool how the simulator picks up the waves and the crests with the wind there. So you can tell if it's rough or not. And again, in real life, I'd probably pick a better winds aloft day for this flight. But I just wanted to test a bunch of things. So far, it's been going pretty well. Knock on wood. Time for some iced tea with the sore arm. Oh boy. All right. Staying sharp here. Nothing exciting on the flight following here. I think there would be. But if we take another look at Vatastic here. I do have someone off my right here. Robert Fisher at 2,000 feet. So we'll take a look outside the aircraft to see if we can see him below us. Looking for nav lights, some type of beacon, something. Oh yeah, I drink from the bottle, dude. I don't bother about cups up here. This is my man cave. With the intermittent fasting I've been doing, you're supposed to get 8 cups of water, but the iced tea I drink has like nothing in it, so I won't lie, I'm a little hungry right now. I didn't think this flight would take this long, but it's okay. I'm all right. Yeah, we're in the man cave. So I couldn't find that person that's on Vatastic below me. I'll show you what I mean.
3046.
November 2089er. But this is what it looks like out there right now. You have another aircraft over here, but they're like 31,000 feet. So it'd be nice to see more general aviation in general, just normally. And that's where the Virtual USA Flying Club comes in, right? It is. It's the diet, like the lowest one that you could do there. So because I try to avoid sugar. So yeah, I actually like Snapple better, but it's all gonna be diet with me. So. But I'm hopefully going to get out for a bike ride with the family, too, either today or tomorrow. I'm probably going to go today anyways. I'm involved in this virtual Inca trail ride thing. And I'm cycling it, which isn't much because it's 26 miles. So I could have probably done that in one day if I didn't have a family, but splitting it up. I like to go out there, and I have my 3-year-old in the trailer behind me on my bike. And I do everything with no motors on my e-bike because I like the exercise. So for buying an e-bike, I definitely don't use the motor a lot. I do use it when I fly somewhere, though, and get out because it's transportation at that point. It's not totally an exercise for me. But as far as riding around, I typically just ride around with it without the motor. And the only time I do use the motor is if I'm going way up a steep hill, and I don't count that as exercise because I pause the timer on the exercise app. So yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta get a little healthier here. So not that I'm terrible, but that's part of the reason why I taught from home, because the blood sugar should be a little lower than what it is. I'm not that bad, but that would affect the medical there. And although I'm great and everything's been going great, I would like to try to nip it in the bud, which is hard because my family, like everyone, has diabetes. So, but we're still okay to fly and everything. There's nothing really hard that I've been doing on that account. It's just trying to fend off whatever I can, and if not, I'm sure I'd still get basic med and be fine like my doctor said I would. But you gotta keep working at it. Can't stop. Not in my hockey shape days, let's put it that way. I felt 150 pounds back then. I looked pretty good back then. But I'm not as bad as I was when my first kid was born. Now I let myself go a lot then, so we're working on it. All right. Oh, GPS signal lost. We'll put you back on there. There you go. All right, 39 minutes out, 45 nautical miles out from Limington, Harmon. Again, we're on the coast here, and we're right outside Portsmouth International, which is right there. So, never did descend down to 7,500. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was a high school hockey player. Yeah, did right wing. Got injured. It was very competitive at my school, so I didn't make it freshman year. Made it sophomore year. Got injured during summer hockey. And then basically just had a rough go at it for the rest of it. But I did play hockey. That was my religion back then. And then I was doing music all along, but then I kind of went and gravitated towards that with my injuries. So, yep. The sad thing is I never really picked up the skates again on ice since then, since my senior year of high school. So I always thought I would. And I got all my equipment still and skates, which are they're very aged. They have the pump on the side. You know what I'm talking about? You push the button, it pumps air in, and it's supposed to surround the heel. I liked them back in the day, but that's how old my skates are. They were very expensive though. They were about $250. So they were the rage back then. And I had very nice parents that bought me nice things when I accomplished things like made the hockey team. So, but they were happy with me whatever I did, except for flying. My mom was against flying. But we made that happen too, didn't we? All right, we're on our way. Let's just keep going here. 66 knot ground speed still. Sanford would be the next big airport up ahead. And it's quite interesting, the crest there and the waves there. What is that? Doesn't it look like it has heavier winds here, but yet calmer winds there? I don't know what that's all about. Well, that's just weird. You don't see that every day. But we are getting there, so didn't think this flight would take this long. That is the biggest thing was finding a way to pay for it. I got to be honest with you, because especially when I did it when I was married, she didn't know about any of that. She knew I liked to flight sim, but that was about it. But I always wanted to get my private pilot license if I could make it happen. I just didn't think it would be possible. And then when I started making money on YouTube, I was like, this is possible. So, but filing taxes is terrible when you do all these side hustles like YouTube. I have to file 4 different businesses. One for Bitcoin, one for YouTube, one for Amazon Associates, and the other one is for eBay, for the little things I sell on eBay. And that's mostly, believe it or not, this is going to sound weird. People laugh at me, but I don't care because I make money, and then they wonder how I can do all these wonderful things. I actually sell like aquarium plants and supplies because I actually have tropical fish. And that pays for that hobby just on the eBay sales. So, I know it sounds weird, but we just got into the entrepreneurial thing to make things happen. And it's done pretty well for me. So, I don't touch my teaching income at all to pay for any of this stuff here. So.
Good morning, Boston Center, November 16th, Foxtrot. We'd like to get VFR clearance to the north.
Alright, gonna be over land for the rest of this flight pretty soon. But the wind seemed to have died down a little bit, according to the ocean there. But I'm not seeing that on my ground speed. I got 68 knots so far. And if I do a real-world sky vector check here of the weather, see what I got here. Sanford is saying 300 at 8, 10 square miles. It's been pretty much the same the whole time. And that wind from the north is what's making us have a problem. But if it's from 30, we should have a little bit more speed building up as we go along here. Not much, just a little. That looks totally calm down there now, huh? I wouldn't even think about looking at this stuff until my instructor got me doing that during my private. So. And at first I didn't understand exactly what he was saying to me. I just go, oh, yeah. But it made sense after a while. And Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's one thing I have to give them. They have that going for them at the engine. And this is the first real test, though. I'm making sure my frame rate doesn't fall down like it did. And it's been doing well so far. So turn off that full window optimization on the exec file, because it will make things better in my case. I flew the same plane and everything before, and I was getting like 9 frames here and there right now. But it really comes down to the landing. If we get down to the pattern and it starts going way low, then we got problems like we did before. But worked for some people, didn't work for others. Asobo's still working on it, I guess. I don't know. So we'll see. I also posted this possible solution in the Microsoft Flight Simulator forums. So I wonder what other people said about it, which I'm going to check right now. General discussion. Looking for my post here. There's been a lot, obviously. I gotta try to put reshade on X-Plane too. But I should have given X-Plane a better shake before, because it's been a lot better than what I remember. I think I was just biased, honestly. Because I had so much invested in prepared Microsoft Flight Simulator from before that. Here we go. Yeah, no one's really commented on my possible fix to the performance problems. But, I don't know, it seems to be working out pretty well for me today, at least. Trim down a little bit. And I'm still wondering what's up with all the snow, because I don't think there's this much snow here in real life. All right. Moving on. Like I said in past broadcasts, it's really the JFK Jr. incident that made my mom very nervous with my brother and I. My poor brother, he can't even get medically cleared for a pilot license if he wanted to. So that's why we're trying to stay a little healthy here. The family genetics are not the best, which also made me question getting a private pilot license, because I was like, well, if you do it, what happens? And you're like, just, I guess, seeing that I only paid YouTube income on it, I just said to myself, screw it, I'm going to do it, and I'll do my best with everything, and whatever happens, happens, But I haven't had any problems. It's just keeping things in check, And I was always the more athletic one in my family, so that definitely helped.
And Boston Center, 6-8 Foxtrot, Foxtrot is holding short of 2-4.
All right. Heading out to sea here, so let's head more in. Half hour out, 35.8 nautical miles, and the ground speed indeed has gone up to about 72 knots. So we'll be there soon. And we'll keep flying with these settings and see if it helps with Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I guess it's been pretty good, this flight. I don't want to say it early. It's going to take a lot more testing. And I also have to do another test on this 152. I have to plan out a flight log with times and everything and see if it acts like the real one, because I've been trying to help them at JP Logistics with this 152 mod, but they've come very, very close. Closest I've seen to replicating a 152, so... As we tear into the wind, we're now down to 70 knots. So again, it's kind of what it is. Com 2, I'm going to get, other than monitoring 1 to 1.5. Guard. Going to get my my weather for Portland International, 119.05. And we'll flip that over and listen to weather a little bit here on Com 2. Hopefully it works. I have both. There we go. 029er. So we're probably talking. Runway 11, which is going to have a heck of a crosswind. Not that bad, though. So let's do it one more time. Alright, so we're looking at 1-1. Crosswind from the left, I believe.
That's confirmed the destination to Boston, 6-8 Foxtrot.
And, we'll watch it. X-Plane definitely have to watch it more because they have the better flight dynamics. I was flying in those 30-knot gusts the other day on it, so. And if we could just have everything come together, the best from all simulators, the world would be a perfect place, That's all I'm saying. So. Alright, we're going to start our descent here pretty soon. We got to get down to 1,300 feet for the pattern altitude there. So I'm going to wait till I get to Sanford. And seeing that we're at this slow ground speed, I'll start my descent then. Sanford should be out here in the distance. That's where my designated pilot examiner came from. Flew down to Plymouth from Sanford. So that was pretty cool. Did have to pay for it, but it was nice of him because he's like an awesome examiner, examiner, if you will. And my instructor was right. He is probably the guy that I wanted to go with. So I believe that's it out in the distance. But as we get closer, we'll see if that is it. And then, just heading a little further north to Limington, Harmon. Again, the restaurant on field in real life is supposed to be pretty good. I've heard nothing but good things. And I actually have an old high school buddy who wanted to fly with me. I haven't been able to take him up at all. But again, once everyone gets their vaccinations and stuff, I might take him up here because an old acquaintance of ours from high school lives up here. And that's why I know what the breakfast looks like, because she always goes to the breakfast here and there and takes pictures of it. So But all right, we're on our way. 24 minutes out, 30 nautical miles or so out. 6-3 Bravo. Once I see the field, I'll cancel flight following. That's going to be harder in the snow, though. It's always really hard to see it in this snow. And that's why, again, they plow fields, but in Microsoft Flight Simulator, they should just leave the runways kind of plowed, but they don't always do that. Let's check out the health here of our broadcast. Boy, this has just been totally weird. So I'm thinking that Microsoft Flight Simulator was the problem here on the broadcast. I got to be honest with you. I don't think it was OBS or Streamlabs, because I'm streaming 1080, 60 frames per second, and I've had nothing but stable going on here. So I took a couple settings, but it wasn't much, and it seems to be working just fine. I don't get it. I say that every stream. I don't get it. All right, Sanford, Maine, off our left here, up ahead. Boy, I've missed flying. I cannot wait till I get in a plane again. Hopefully next week. Let's see, what is my next real-world flight? I book them all in advance, but next Saturday I'll be in 9990. The 152 I have rented from 10 to 3. So the weather's got to cooperate. And then, as April vacation comes upon us, I have 3 flights planned for April vacation, thinking that I will probably have to cancel at least one. So, and I actually had a vacation flight should COVID actually subside. I was going to go on a long flight, but I know I'm going to have to revisit those plans. So yeah, next Saturday would be the next one in the 152. And I might go to New Haven or Bridgeport based on winds aloft and time, because I don't want to be flying at 68 knots. That's one heck of a bill just because of wind, you know. And Jet Pilot Cinema, if you're still watching, we're still in for this summer. Should we make it happen? That'd be kind of cool. Lots of things to think about this summer. Definitely that one out to Kilo Sierra Whiskey Foxtrot would be a doable thing. So I'm feeling pretty good about that as long as the weather's good that day that we pick. And if not, pick a couple dates.
Alright, cross crank, outer maintain, 7,3056.
All right, we're going to start a descent here. So we're going to do a cruising descent. We're going to go down to 2,100-ish. Just let it settle down there. Might have to trim up slightly to keep it at 500 feet per minute.
And what runways are active at Bradley?
And descending, final descent for Limington.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened, and all carry-on luggage is stowed safely and securely in the aircraft. Thank you.
All right. Sanford, Maine, everybody. Airport's out there. I want to go there someday as well in real life, so that'd be a nice flight. But this would be my alternate if Limington's not going to happen, because, again, my ex-co-worker said, oh, you can go to Sanford too, but Limington's where she lives, so that's actually closer. Go up there and visit. She's got a house right on the lake and stuff, so. But I thought maybe get some breakfast or lunch up there. Converse like we used to, and then I'm thinking it'd probably be a day trip because I got family. Let's go back later on, so. What's that? Is that Mexico? I think that's Mexico. Someone's testing out there for a controller position. Or center? Is that center? I think that might have been a center position. I don't know. But alright, nice constant descent. I might want to get more towards the airport though. That'd be nice, right? A little left rudder in there. And ground speed of 66 knots. So we have more than enough time to get down to 1,300 feet. You got some mountains in the distance there. That would probably be the something mountains. I got it right here on my sectional. I'm trying to see it. Mount Washington and stuff out there? Nah, maybe. Maybe. Could be. So that's Mount Washington. That's quite impressive to see it from here. Another place I do want to fly, Mount Washington Regional. Getting the mountains up there. So a lot of planning on that one just to make sure you stay clear of the mountains. But something I would like to do, maybe again this summer. Go up there. Maybe convince my wife to let me have my 7-year-old go with me. Yeah, one can always hope and dream, right? One can always hope and dream. And they're not doing the air show again this year in Plymouth because of COVID, but I think they're doing an aviation day or something. Also, I'd like to go out to Bradley and in Connecticut and visit the New England Aviation Museum. That'd be kind of cool. But again, all these are just plans and just things I've said. Oh, I want to do that. I want to do this. It really depends on safety and COVID and weather. And it is what it is. All right, we're going to increase the mixture just slightly. There we go. And that frame rate is going down a little bit, but it's kicking back up to 20, so I think it's just loading stuff, which I'm okay with that. We're still outside Sanford, Maine here. Ground speed of 70 knots on the descent. But yeah, it's doing something, loading or something, but it's not choppy like it used to be. So I'm holding out and holding that this goes well. I would think it would load a little bit more autogen and stuff as you get lower too. Low and slow probably impacts the frames. November 6297 Juliet. Let's check that up in flight radar. So what's that? November 629er. Let's see what plane that is. November 629er 7 Juliet. Real life flights. To Piper. And March 20th. Yeah, today's first day of spring. Sanford to Rockland. That's where that thing's going in real life. So, supposed to... actually, it already says it landed. So maybe that's just delayed real-world traffic there. But, it's going from Sanford to Rockland. So Microsoft has a little bit of work to do on that, too, if they want to be updated. I mean, it's nice to see real-world flights in there, but it is what it is. And again, that app that I use is just Flight Radar 24. Excuse me while I switch this over. And it kind of shows you real-world flights in the area. So we would be somewhere up here. Actually, probably be a little further north. Portsmouth, there we go. This would be around here. And real world, you got some flights going on up there. It's a 172 or 182, 172, November 12545. So it's kind of cool to see this, especially where I live, because I live underneath one of the main arrival routes for Boston. And that's in Dayton, Massachusetts, but it goes right over my house when the winds are favoring that. And it's pretty cool to see. And then you can pick up this app here and find out what's flying above you. It's usually Delta and JetBlue and stuff like that. But really cool. And I like to do that on the simulator as well to say, hey, what's that plane out there? Someone's departing on VAT Sim. 25 would probably be this one, right? That's him right down there, actually. You can see him. He looks like a jet only because I'm model matching. He could be a jet. But that's some VAT Sim traffic down there. Cool. All right, we're still on our way to Limington, Harmon. I'll check the chart supplement just to double check. I believe it's a left pattern. It is a left pattern for both. So runway 11. We're actually going to go then to the west a little bit more. Trim down a little bit more. That might give us a little bit more ground speed, not much, just a little bit. We're at 62 knots again. These winds have not been favoring us on our flight here today. Again, I thought it was going to be done at least like by 12:30 Eastern time, but we're almost at 1 o'clock right now, so that's fine. We're going to finish up the flight, but we will definitely call it a day after this arrival. And I appreciate everyone that stayed with me on the stream here. So, again, don't know why there's snow everywhere. I know it might have snowed a tad yesterday, but not like this. Not anything that would have stuck around. I mean, it's got to be, what, 60 degrees out almost now? First day of spring? I can double check that in a second. I haven't been outside today yet. Weather Channel app says it's 51 degrees, so there's no way that the snow would totally exist with the amount of snowfall that fell the other day, if any. So, around where I am in Dayton, Massachusetts, nothing fell. We didn't even have any snow, so don't know. Uh-oh. Guess what? Those frames are starting to go down to 9 again. But now they went back up. We'll keep an eye on it, but we're going to finish the flight to the best of our ability.
I'm with you at 1,300, climbing to 4,000.
All right, those lakes right there are kind of a visual, by the way, because the airport is north of there. So it's going to be out here somewhere. And again, we're going to go to the west a little bit to set up a 45 for runway. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me get more of a wind check on this thing. Here we go. Check my winds one more time. Now, we're going to go runway 29. Yeah. All right. We're going to go runway 29. It's tough either way. Runway 29er. Therefore, we are heading to the west slightly, and we're going to enter a 45 for runway 29er at Limington, Harmon. They don't have weather on the airfield there, so I used Portland International's weather. And we're going to send down to 1300. I'm going to increase the mixture a little bit here, keep it going here. And that ground speed's picking up now as I head more west, so that's cool. 76 knots. Well, hello, Downwind Sim. Thank you so much for popping in. How are you, sir? We're doing okay. I haven't been able to fly in real life for about 5 weeks. I got vaccinated the other day, which means this weekend I couldn't fly, but things are happening in the right direction. That's what I would say, and I hope to fly next weekend. And everyone's healthy here, so we're lucky for that too. And let's try to get everyone vaccinated here so that we could all spend some time together. My in-laws, maybe have 4th of July together, seeing that we're all going to be vaccinated. So, but they are, I guess they're lowering the age here in Massachusetts on Monday so that if you have one medical condition, I called myself fat, and I also went with the higher blood sugar levels to get mine, but I will be returning back to a school building in about 2 weeks. So, which is good. I miss seeing my students in real life and not just on a camera. So everything's going in the right direction. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, cool. I mean, cool. You must let your work if you're working on a Saturday, but but yeah, it's been an interesting year. It's kind of like the lost year in education. I just gave a student a recommendation this morning, so I did that before my flight and emailed it to them for a scholarship. Very hardworking student, so definitely worth it. And then I was like, yeah, I really want to test out the... okay. I want to test out Microsoft Flight Simulator and see if this one little tweak I did helped me with the frame rate. But it's been going down a little bit as we get closer to our destination here, Limington, Harmon, and Maine. And it's not as bad as before, but it definitely dipped the frames down a little bit still. So, once we see the airport in sight, by the way, we will let approach know and say cancel flight following. But as of now, we're going to be good. And this headwind has been working against us the whole way. Yeah, it's terrible. So it's been a lost year, and I feel really bad about the seniors this year. Last year, my seniors kind of gave up after we went remote, and that was on March 13th. So we have sports still in Massachusetts. They started football in February rather than fall, and then they wear masks and everything, but they're not socially distancing in the classroom like they should be. And I'm teaching remote, so again, I'm going back for the first time in what was it again, a year and 3 weeks. So yeah, most are. And it's just a matter of kicking it in and not getting senioritis that bad. So I warned my seniors on that. I'm like, look, just get the work done, and you're good to go. So, but again, we are having those frame rate issues again. Not that it's locked at 9, it's just dipping down to 9 as we descend here. So we will try our best, and Microsoft still has a little bit of work to do on the simulator, but it's not glitchy like it was before. So maybe this was a little solution. I turned off the optimization for games that Windows has in the newest version of Windows. Went to the exec file and said disable that, and the simulator overall seems to be working better. So no clue. Some say it's the CPU being overused. I'll show you mine right now. Give me a second. The screen's gonna flash. But it's always been kind of a problem. I did the Cannonball run a long time ago, which was like a 20-something hour flight steady. But here's my graphics card. And I always thought it was the memory usage, but yeah, it's up there, but it's not like, oh my god, it should crash the whole system. And then if I look at my CPU, see, I use my graphics card for just a webcam. I use my Intel one. So that's something cool with the way that they're able to share resources. But this is what we're talking about. A lot of people said there were problems with this. The utilization going to 100 for no reason. And it wasn't like that before. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting that 9 frames again. So Sobo's got to fix something because it wasn't like this before. But it is a little better because I can like pan around and I'm not stuck in like, oh my god, move looking everywhere. So. Oh yeah, Nick, that's right. You did. You went through it too. But you finished your classes. I had to fail 5 of my seniors on pass-fail because they did absolutely nothing. They booked it out. I didn't want to. Heck, I'm only a band teacher. But when you don't do anything, I have no choice. Even if they did 50% of the work, I would have passed them, you know? So, yeah. That's tough. But it does get you ready for remote learning. And in college, if you had to take a course online, you should be good to go. I love taking my courses online. I have to recertify this year. And teachers, we have to take like graduate courses, even if we have a graduate degree, which I do. But yeah. And that way you're just used to it, you know. And like I told you, in college, it's a little different. You already paid the money. They got what they want. It's up to you to learn. So, yeah. I had a student a little worried about Massachusetts trying to return to full-time instruction. And I tried to explain to him, I think you still get a choice. You could do full remote if you want to, you know. And you got to do what you think is safe for you. I mean, for some people it doesn't work, the online learning, you know. Limington Harmon should be out there. In fact, that's it. Nope, that's not it. That's a pond. It's out here somewhere. There's a pond north of it. So, but I'm using my electronic flight bag to help me out here. But you can see that frame rate's going down. It's not stuck at 9 though. So. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, to each their own. And each state does it differently too, so. All right. Well, still a little bit to the west. I'm going to 45 here, but I have to see the airfield in sight. All right, Darwin Sim, thank you. Thank you so much. And we're going to see if the frame rates hold true here. It's a little bit better than what it was, but not the best. So thank you for tuning in today.
November 64056, flight presence heading now. Center maintain 2000, getting close enough. I'm going to
give you a beacon or something, huh? Yeah, we'll see ya. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Should be actually a little bit further to the north here. Oh, I see. Oh boy. I'm zooming in unrealistically to see if I can see any type of airfield out here. I've done it in the sim several times, so. But it should be a little harder to see in the snow, thanks to them blanketing every single little thing. And if you must know, here's where we are in relation to the airport. So, again, we'll do a left 45 into runway 29, so I'm just going to head that way. And my coworker lives right around this pond right here. So you follow this road down to that pond. So, and I just moved that without wanting to move that, but that's okay. So hopefully it sticks. All right, plan. Good. Yeah, it's still looking at 63 Bravo. We're still doing our descent. We're going to increase the mixture here. And the frames are suffering a little bit, but it's not to the point where I can't move around. It got that way at the Rich USA Flying Club event this past Sunday. At least I can still see. But 4,400 feet and looking for the airfield. Real Millhouse, how's it going? Nice to see you on my broadcast, sir. Love those new emojis from SimC Hey. And I gotta be honest with you, I wait and see if I can get a subscription for free on one of those tickets there. And I actually did the other night, so I'm signed up for another month of Sim Caesar. But definitely one of the ones I would definitely pay for. I just try to be a cheapskate about it first. But I love those emojis that he makes. So. All right, we're about into Limington. I just got to find the airfield here visually so I can cancel flight following. I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it right now. I'm good. I'm good. Life's getting better. Life's getting better. Just want to fly for real for once because I haven't flown for real in the past 5 weeks. But family's healthy. Everyone's doing okay, and we're getting through this. Yeah. Feels good to sim again, too, because I held off because of that stupid frame rate issue, and it seems to be rearing its head in. Not as bad as before, but still coming in here. I'm thinking it's loading scenery, though, because now it's back up to 30. So I don't know what to make of that, but it's doing better now. So, I don't know. It's all been a test day. Test this 152 mod out. Do the frame rate thing. Check my stream, which has been amazing. I'm back at 1080p now, 60 frames per second, and I've been running a test on that the whole flight, and it seems to be no problem. I'm going to knock on wood right now again. I'm a little hungry because these winds aloft are not helping me. I've had about a 60-something knot ground speed the whole flight. Didn't really bother to check that out. Just kind of got in the plane and flew, but we're going to finish it. And then finally, this would be hopefully a roll of flight if I go see my coworker, my ex-coworker who lives in Maine. So, good practice either way. But I don't get why it's so snowy here. So, that pond out there, my coworker lives right off this pond, I believe. That's what it looks like, yeah. So, next, they have a private airstrip right here. That'd be awesome. You just fly right in, literally 5 minutes away, but that's not how the cookie crumbles. That could be it right out there. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. There in the distance. I think it might be that little thing there. I'm not positive, though. There's a lake to the north of it, and that looks kind of like the little lake or pond. So, there's also that road of the highway that's right underneath it. So, I'm guessing that that's it right there. I'll wait a couple more minutes before I cancel flight following. And we're still doing a constant descent down here. Increase the mixture a little bit there. But yeah, it's been a peaceful flight. It hasn't been that bad, just a big headwind. We're descending down to 1300 to join the traffic pattern here, so. Oh, frames. Not terrible, could be better. Streaming on the same computer kind of takes 10 frames out of it, though, so. I think it's still loading scenery. Because right now it would have been flatlining like a 9 most of the time, and it's not doing that, so. Who knows? Maybe I got a possible somewhat fix for it, but I'm not turning that Windows optimization for games on it anymore, because that sucks. Definitely getting better performance without it. Kind of ironic how they have a game optimization feature in Windows, and then you turn it off and it optimizes the game. So the solution is to turn it off. I even turned it off on Streamlabs OBS, and that seems to be working better according to what I'm seeing. So that is cool. Alright, that indeed looks to be the airfield out there. This little strip right there. So I am going to call and cancel flight following. Here we go. Am I on center or approach? That's the other thing. I think I'm on center. Give me a second here. I got to double check my VATSIM settings here. Yeah, I'm on center. Boston Center, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot. Airfield in sight requesting cancellation of flight following.
489 Echo Foxtrot, radar service terminated. Frequency change is approved. Squawk and maintain VFR. Have a good flight.
Thank you, 9 Echo Foxtrot. Well, that took long enough for that headwind, though, huh? All I know is I'm going to eat something after this flight, because I'm starving. Whew. Shedding those pounds, though. Oh, boy. We got some sexy sex going on here in our descent. All right. We're also going to go over to VATSIM Unicom 122.8. And we'll check the weather one last time here. Yep. Oh, that messed it up. And that's the problem with using VATSIM Unicom, is sometimes it's going to interact with all this stuff. Here we go. All right, that is from Portland International, by the way. It's closest weather here. And of course, I have to stay on 122.8 for VATSIM, but you can see it's picking up another frequency, and I just turned it all the way down. That's all you can do. I would love if VATSIM would just please, oh please, just adopt the real CTAF frequencies. So, it'd be nice. And that is... Hey, Millhouse, you on there? You're at the field, huh? I'm going to call out pretty soon. I got to get down, though, in altitude. Oh, POSCON. All right. I'm on VATSIM still. I got to get in that POSCON. I got to try that out. Oh, I got to try that out. But you have real world CTAF. That's the difference. Yeah, exactly. Which is VATSIM just announced their whole like non-laggy updating of positions and stuff. So, but that frame rate again, look at this. I don't like it. Look at that. It's doing that thing again. I don't know if it's loading scenery or not, but at least I can look. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. See, before it would just flatline at 9 and stay there. So, cool. Cool. DIY throttle. You gotta, is it like TPM or is it like mixture all the way in? 'Cause we're at 3,000. Lower the RPMs here. I gotta get down here. It's 1,300. Okay. And we'll call out on the VATSIM Unicom here. So here we go. Limington Harmon traffic. Cessna Echo Foxtrot 4 miles out on the 45 for runway 29er. Limington Harmon. Thought that was gonna be hard to see at first, but we're doing good. We're just really high here, so 72 knot ground speed. Boy, is it terrible. Terrible headwind. I would definitely not do this in real life if I planned it all out and saw the headwind ground speed at that. So typically this flight and a good wind day could take about an hour, a little over an hour to make it. So Oh, cool. That's right. Yeah, I did see that actually. It's the wooden box. That thing looks cool. Yeah, I have the SciTech one, only out of the grace and mercy of someone that gave it to me for free when I said I was studying to become a private pilot. And he's like, I have one. I don't even use it. I'll just send it to you for free. Just pay for shipping. And I was like, okay. And then he sent me a radio panel and everything else. That's where I got most of my SciTech stuff from. And the big kicker is he never even cashed a check for shipping. But I did let him, I kept him updated on where I was in my training and stuff. And never heard back from him, honestly. But I at least wanted to say thank you to him and sent him a bunch of messages. You can see that 9 frames is kind of messing with me now. All right, I'm going to kick back the speed a little bit. We're in the yellow. I'm not liking that yellow. There we go. We're running that. See, I think the cruise is still a little too fast on this mod. Put some carb heat on just for safety here. There we go. And again, that 9 frame rate is kicking itself back in here. So, yeah, Sobo still has some work to do. Yeah, that guy was amazing. And that was on flightsim.com. Carb heat's on, so I can go below 2,100 and feel better about it. Still in the yellow. Still about 700 feet above where I should be. And I got to turn downwind soon, so. Limington Harmon traffic, says Atlantic Foxtrot, 2 miles out in the 45 runway 29er, Limington Harmon. I will be on the ground there soon, Millhouse. I got really lucky with that one. I was offering to pay for it. I mean, I was looking for it. I was like, I'm looking for one. But you can tell the SciTech TPMs, you can't find them anywhere. And if you do, they lynch you for them now because they don't make them anymore. So I have that and a Logitech general throttle quadrant at the same time for like the Cirrus and stuff like that. But the TPM's all about the Cessna. So, and I used to own the SciTech yoke, but then I got this Honeycomb Alpha yoke and it's way better. So that's in the closet now as a backup, if you will. How are we doing distance-wise? We're a little further out than I'd like to be, but Limington Harmon traffic, Cessna Foxtrot left downwind, runway 29er, Limington Harmon. Where are we? Well, we're heading into the direction there. All right, carb heat's on, 1700. We'll get to the white arc here. This frame rate's not helping, but it is better than what it was before. It's still terrible, so they still have to fix it. But first 10 degrees of flaps should have went in, but they didn't. Now it did. And we're going to level out here a little bit more. Okay, my visual's right past this little river here. So we're a little farther out than I'd like to be, but we're going to turn base. Oh, okay. Oh, hey. It's a good learning activity, and you'll have something. Just do like I did with my SciTech yoke. Just keep it as a backup if you get the Bravo like you want to. I just don't have enough desk space for the Bravo, you know. But it is definitely a beast from what I saw. All right, keep it about 80 knots or so. There you go. We should be good. Airfield's there for 29er. Limington Harmon traffic, Cessna Atlantic Foxtrot, left base, runway 29er, Limington. They probably just say Limington up there, but I won't know until I get up there. Okay, we're going to go down to 1500. And another 10 degrees of flaps. Good. We should be about 70, 75 knots. And the frame rate, yeah, it's better. We're up to 20 here and there. So, definitely doing better right there. That's not going to stay on top, but it's better than what it was. But it's not the best it could be. Where am I? Okay, yeah, see, we're far out here. So we'll keep that speed up. Don't like it being at 60 there. That would be bad. That's where you want to be for landing. Alright, sorry about the weather that's going on in the background. I can't do anything about it. I gotta stay on VetSim Unicom. Okay. Like to be a little faster than that. About 70 is good. Okay, we're going to turn final pretty soon. Right about now. Limington, Harmon traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, left base to final, runway 29 or Limington. Ooh, we're coming in short here. You see this? Can't even see the runway, but it is there. And we're going to pull this back and go full flaps because we're going to need it. I feel like we're going to need it. Yeah, because we're coming in high. Alrighty then, pull back on the throttle a little bit, try to keep it around 65, and oh boy, that just sucked. I'm at 9 frames. Yeah, Sobo's got some working to do on this. And you can't even see a runway down here with this snow, but we'll see what we can do. Boy, that sucks, huh? You're not final and all of a sudden, oh, pull you at 9 and keep you locked there. Yeah, there's definitely performance issues. I do not take responsibility for this landing because I can't even see the runway. I would go around, but I'm hungry. I want to finish the flight. I got throttle out here at 9 frames per second. Boy, that sucks. So yeah, I guess I'm going to have to get used to X-plane. There it is. I can see the runway somewhat. There we go. I will not hit you. I see the runway in sight, and I can't, you know, you have enough time to move because I'm at 9 frames per second locked. Oh, this blows so much. So you get done with like a 2-hour-long flight, and you're like, oh, I'm going to land. It's going to be great. Everything's working great. And all of a sudden, 9 frames per second. You're locked. Okay. Again, that's why it's stuttering, so I apologize for the stuttering, but there's not much I can do. Oh, boy. A little bit of throttle, I guess. These frames are not helping me here. That is the center, though. All right. Throttle's out. Oh, no. Come on. I am flaring. You just can't tell because of the frames. Boy, that sucks. Well, that was a shallow landing, but we got down there. Flaps up. Yeah, it's locked. It's locked at 9. Look at this, people. So that's the bug that Asobo has to solve, because there's no reason for that. If I'm pulling like 20 frames, at least, on the way back here, and I'm going to do a back taxi here, too. So I got my brakes on, and this 9 frames is not helping me. Let's just get to the parking area, shall we? Well, at least I show up as a Cherokee and not a jet, because that seems to be what it does on V-Pilot all the time. Actually, no, not really. I don't know what it does with a 152. 172 if you're on it, it shows a 172. But Limington, Harmon traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, back taxiing, runway 29er to parking, Limington, Harmon. Oh, God, this sucks. And I'm locked at 9. It's not going faster than 9 frames per second. And that is the bug that this thing has. That is insane. So, yeah, that's why I reinstalled X-Plane. Bought Active Sky for X-Plane. What else did I buy for X-Plane? I did something else. Active Sky. Oh, I bought SPAD so I could work with my SciTech devices. So I guess we're going to be streaming some X-Plane in the future if I get that thing all the way I want it. But, yeah, that is just terrible. Yeah, and I used to poo-poo on X-Plane all the time, but those flight dynamics, you can't beat those. So I guess I'm just going to have to do that. And it sucks because I bought the Piper Archer for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is the Archer, I think. Yeah, the Just Flight one. So I guess we're not doing that till Asobo fixes this, but man, that sucks. I'm gonna send a copy of this video to them. Is it the Arrow? Yeah. Because again, I'm gonna be flying the Piper Warrior, and that was the closest thing I can get to. But now X-Plane, I guess, has a Warrior, so I will have to look for that. I know Prepared had one, but just wasn't as good. There's a Marshall over there too. Yeah. I'm really looking for something close to the Piper Warrior because I'm supposed to get signed off on that, hopefully to rent in May. I've got like 5 lessons booked. And also to inquire about the instrument, seeing I got my cross-country hours up there. But, all right, I'm going to park over here, which is where we would go in real life. And I'll use the Marshall, I guess. They gotta fix this whole like it's not plowed thing in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2. Like I can understand if it's new snowfall, but airports would be plowed. They wouldn't leave you so that you can't see the runway. I'm sorry, unless it was like a desolate airport, you know. All right, well, we're gonna end our flight here today. So I appreciate everyone that's tuned on today. Lots of people appreciate it, as this was not a totally formal planned flight. I kind of left a hint in the schedule on Twitch, but I didn't really. I said it's dependent upon kids and family, and I kind of made it happen, even though it's just way longer than I thought it was going to be. And hopefully, and we'll go spend time with them, maybe get a bike ride in, and get to the Virtue USA Flying Club event tonight. Maybe. I'll have to see about that still. But, this is terrible, huh? This is the problems that people have been having on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright, he wants to turn left. I'm trying to do it at 9 frames per second, dude. Go easy on me. But welcome to Limington, Harmon. And for fun, we'll still send the drone out once I'm parked here. So, we good? We're good. Alright, we're good. Checklist time. I'm going to show you the checklist while I do this. So give me 1 second. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Alright, checklist. After landing, flaps up, carb heat off. Did I ever turn the carb heat off? That might have been not, because I've been distracted by the 9 frames per second. Come on. Oh my lord. This is terrible. 9 frames per second. Strobes off. I should probably turn those off right after. That's okay. I leave everything else on. Trim set for takeoff. Again, I'm sorry. I was distracted by the 9 frames per second. Alright, ELT, verify silent. It is because we've been monitoring it the whole time. Avionics going off. We gotta manually turn them off in the 152. That's very lifelike. We don't have a master avionics switch in the 152. Uh-oh. But I'm using my mouse wheel, which is making me, with this 9 frames per second, go nuts. Alright, this one's gonna be almost off already. Thank you. I'm gonna do mouse pushes here. Turn it off. We're also going to turn off the transponder as soon as that thing turns off. Off. Alright. Lights off, except for beacon. And, see, this is what I was dealing with on the Virtue USA Flying Club event. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to figure something out. Alright. Mixture full lean. It's going to give me that annoying window. You know, as soon as it wants to, you know, shut off because it's 9 frames per second. There we go. Mags off, master off, lights off. And for lack of a set of chocks, I'll put the, whoop. There you go. It just took forever because 9 frames per second. But interestingly, when it went to this window, it went up to like 3020. Oh, God. 2 hours of flying. Wow. All right. And with that, I think we're good. So again, thank you for joining me on this flight, but I am going to send the drone out, and we'll see what happens with the frame rate there. So, without further ado, the drone. Send in the drone. If we can get the drone to work, that is, with the frame rate. So, let's also look at my resources here. Give me a sec. I'm going to get Task Manager out here. So, let's see what the problem is here. Yeah, see, everything's pegged at 100. And that's the biggest problem, because if you go to the graphics card, it's only using 20% of it. And the memory's high, which is normal, but that's what I'm talking about. And it's still 9 frames per second. So it's definitely something to do with the CPU. The reason why this is being used, this is controlling my webcam, which is perfectly fine. So that was an awesome feature that you could actually divvy up into the internal graphics for that, and then save the 2080 for the computer. But this is the problem right here. So it pegs up, and that's what people have been saying. That's the problem. So, and that didn't happen again until we were on final, to be honest and realistic about it. But let's try to get this drone out. And just loaded the drone, and we're still, it's kicking up though. It's not locked at 9 all the time. So I don't know. But let's take a look around at Limington Harmon here. Right in front of us, I believe, would be the restaurant. So we'd walk down there, have a wonderful lunch or breakfast there. Lots of hangars around, and one main runway. We're parked over there below us. There's Millhouse. Hey, Millhouse, how's it going? And very tranquil and a lot of good scenery around here. But nothing really to see. My ex-coworker again lives. She just retired a couple weeks ago. She lives in Limington, which would be, if I'm right, somewhere. We'd follow this pond, I think. Let's go a little faster. Frame rate's still at 9, by the way, for scientific purposes. Still locked at 9. That's terrible. And that's why we have all this jitteriness. Let me get rid of this checklist, too. Alright, let me get a map here that I can refer to while I look for her pond where she lives. I won't point out the house or anything like that, but I've never been up there either. The only time I went to Maine, I think, is when I had a gig up at Sunday River with my old rock band. So, wait a minute, did it just open up? Nope, frames are still at 9, 10. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go that way. Try and get a visual of where I'm going on this whole thing. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna follow this lake down, I think. Should be a road too. Alright, So she lives a little further out. It's gonna take about 15 minutes to come pick me up at the airport. And New England, though, it screams New England around here with the lake and stuff. I mean the river with the bridges. And I'm looking for that pond area. And actually, this would be it right here. I believe this would be it right here. She lives like, for lack of a better term, an island between two lakes. No, that wouldn't be it then. Oh, I'm gonna keep looking. Now, see, that just seemed like the frame rate went up, right? Looking for those lakes. Maybe a little further up here. And the frame rate keeps bouncing between 9 and 11. So Microsoft, you'll be getting a copy of this, saying this is the problem. There's an airfield right off of where that thing is. That could be it right there. Just double check visually with this map here. No. Well, I'll take one more look for it, but if not, we're gonna call it a day here. Those are lakes. Yeah, I'm lost though. But anyway, she lives in Limington, and that's where I would go after she'd pick me up at the airport. We'd probably get breakfast, lunch, or something, converse, and do all that stuff, and that will hopefully be a future flight in real life. And my drone doesn't want to go back to the aircraft right away because of the frames. But, all right, we're going to end the broadcast here while this is slowly making its way back to the aircraft. Whoa, going through the woods. Going through the woods. Maybe to the plane? I don't know, because we still are pulling 9 frames. You see it kind of locks there, too. But I thank you all for tuning in today. Appreciate it, especially with the technical difficulties I currently have with Microsoft Flight Simulator like everyone else out there. But that's what they're talking about. We had a good flight all the way up, and then as I descended and went on final, it locked to 9 frames per second. And the only way of fixing that is to go back to the main menu, restart a whole flight, and it'll pick up the frames again. So, and it seems to be a CPU thing, as I already showed in my task manager. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with. The 152 mod's better. It's a little faster on cruise than what I thought. And I already told them that, too, so I did another test of that today. What else did we test? My Twitch stream, 2 thumbs up, doing fantastic. And we're back in 1080p. I tweaked something right there, so now it's working pretty well, and hopefully it stays that way. And, yeah. So overall, all these tests, successful. Hunger, real. Gonna get something to eat. And thank you to Titanium Druid, The Real Millhouse, Nick Resla, Jet Pilot Cinnamon, Downwind Sim. I'm gonna go through it all here. Titanium Druid, I already said, Jet Pilot Cinnamon. Also to the Better CP for following and for providing excellent approach services in Boston. Thank you very much. Good fixins as always, tuning in. And thank you to everyone else out there. Thank you to Jet Pilot Cinnamon for the subscription again, resubscribing for the 4th month in a row. Appreciate it. Hope to do the same thing on your channel. And who's this person? Anyways, I will see you later. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And hopefully I see you tonight if I can make that happen at the Virtual USA Flying Club event. And without further ado, let's end the stream. Thanks a lot. Stand by if you want to raid somebody.